Welcome back to the Unbreakable Mindset podcast with me, your host, Jude Daunt. How are you all doing? I want to fill you in on what has been going on in one of my businesses that I want you to take my lessons and my growth and my learning and start to implement yourself, because it has been a real eye opener for me. And I'll tell you why in a second. There's been a lot of growth quite quickly, and that's not normally what I expect. So you'll know that listening to me, that whenever I start on something, I always have not low expectations, but if I have a goal, I tend to start off where I'm at, and that works for me. It definitely does, right? Because I struggle to dream really big because my head's not there yet. I still need my belief system to catch up with that goal or dream. So I might have a goal or a dream, but I'll always start off where I'm at. Now, as I say, that works really well for me. But what it also means is that sometimes I go into my goals with resistance already there. So it takes longer for me to manifest. I get them. And don't get us wrong, like, oh my God, my life is still astounds me that I, one, get to do the work that I do and help people. Like, I got emotional on a call with somebody today when I was talking about the academy, and she was interested in becoming a coach. And she was like, just sounds amazing, like, to help people and to make a difference. Like, it just sounds incredible. And I was like, do you know what it is? And I started talking and I started explaining the reason why I got into it. And I got emotional. Honestly, pathetic. I got emotional on the call, and it still astounds me that I get to help people and to get them out of the most uncomfortable headspaces. God, and I'm nervous to say this, but to change their life, because that sounds like I'm bigging myself up, and I'm not very good at that. But it's so true. Like, coaching changed my life because I was really struggling with my mindset. So the fact that I get to do that for someone else is incredible. Anyway, but I wasn't going down that route. I wasn't going down a self-promotion route. The reason why I was saying that, what was it? Yes, that it takes me longer to achieve goals because I start where I'm at, and my belief system doesn't go, oh my God, you could have your own office, you could drive around in a Range Rover, a Land Rover Defender, you could have all this. I never expected that. Like, honestly, like, when I first went into my business full time, and I used to work in a place where I had nice cars because they were company cars. I remember starting off and thinking, do you know what? As long as I just have a car that gets us from A to B, it's fine. Like, I don't need a fancy car, because my head wouldn't let me believe it was possible. So as I say, I don't go into things expecting the world. I think, wouldn't it be amazing if, and then I start from where I'm at and I take inspired action, but there is always resistance there for me. So if that's you, that's fine. We start from where we're at and we'll get there, but it might take us a little bit longer. And what I've been learning in the since January, I'm going to say this, is that when you work with somebody who doesn't have that resistance, the energy is unreal. It's unbelievable. And I am learning so much from working alongside somebody who doesn't have resistance. It is like, I can't even tell you. Like, I've done this podcast already. I recorded 30 minutes and then thought, I don't even know if that makes any sense, because I feel like I've dotted around it and not told you the right information and went off on a tangent. Because it's astounding to work with somebody who doesn't have limiting beliefs. So I'll tell you a little bit about this. And the reason why I want to tell you this is because I want you to start learning from a different kind of energy. Because it is different. My energy is very different from my business partner. So just to recap, if you are new to the podcast, I have 3 businesses. I've got my one-to-one coaching where I help people who are struggling with anxiety and depression, not feeling good enough, lack of self-worth, the lack of confidence. So that was my baby. That was my first ever business. That was the core of everything that I do, and is still the core of everything. So from that one-to-one coaching, I developed my Unbreakable mindset methodology, and it is so powerful. The results that I get are unbelievable with clients, and you'll know that because I've had them on. This isn't me blowing smoke up my own arse. This is, this is true because I have my clients on, and you know that I'm also not very good at bigging myself up. So for me to say that, it's true. And then because I realized I had that methodology, and it was so powerful, I was like, other coaches need this because they should be getting the same results that I get with my clients. So I set up the academy. So I've got that, and I've also got the academy where I coach, where we train other people to become Unbreakable mindset coaches, and it's amazing, and I love it. And then I've also got, I've got Months to Manifest, but I don't really see that as a separate business. That is a gift. That is something that I love sharing with people, that when you know how to manifest, it should be easy. And this is what I do with you guys. Free training here every week on my Unbreakable Mindset podcast. But also you can buy my self-study Month to Manifest course. I don't promote it very often, just because it's I just forget to promote Months to Manifest, but it is there. I would say it's part of one of my programs that I offer, which sits underneath the academy. Now, the third business I've not really talked about because it's been in development for 18 months. And you guys aren't really the audience for it. It's something that I am now working with a business partner on. I've maybe dipped in and out of telling you this. And Julie, who you might have heard me mention, is my co-founder in that business. And it's very much a baby. It's 18 months old, but it's 18 months of hard work that we've been doing in the background to get it ready to go to market. Now, I'll tell you the shortest version of this in terms of what it is, because as I say, it's something that we are launching to businesses. It's not something. The reason why I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about it is because it's not something you guys would be interested in as a sole person listening to this. It is something that we want to deliver to companies. So I've got my Unbreakable mindset methodology. I know how powerful that is. And what we wanted to do was fill the gap where companies who want to put money into supporting their employees with their mental health, but do it in the right way. So if we go back to my episode where I said everything you know about depression is wrong and why traditional therapies don't work, most companies are still offering that traditional form of counseling. And I wanted employees to be able to access my one-to-one coaching, but for companies to pay for it for them, so they get, like if we think about the episode that we did with Erin, where she talks about imposter syndrome, it's really helping people who are struggling with mindset at work. It's fantastic. And it's done from a tech point of view because I can't coach. I'm only one person. I can't coach everyone in a business. So we've done it through a very complicated system that I don't really understand, but I don't need to because I deliver the training. I'm not involved in the AI side of it, the tech side of it. That has been done through an amazing guy, Paul, who's been working on the background, at the back end of stuff with us. So that's as much as I'll say. I don't want to bore you with that. But what I've learned by setting up that business, especially in the last 3 months when we're about to launch it, is Julie and I come from very different mindsets. And it's really it's been so evident for me where Julie's mindset is and where my mindset is. And because Julie will say something and then I panic and go, how will I do that? Because my head goes to how will I do that rather than wouldn't it be amazing? And that, wouldn't it be amazing? Mindset has accelerated our business before it's even hit the ground, before it's even been launched to companies. And I want to tell you some amazing things that have happened in the last few weeks to that business because of Julie's mindset, not mine. Yeah, I would have got there, but it would have taken me a lot longer because my mindset still has resistance, still goes, oh, but Jude, you're the thick one at school. Like, my mindset still does that. And I work against it all the time, and I've got things, and I'm not saying I beat myself up and I don't have anxiety about it, but it still requires me to meet me where I'm at, so I can only take the teeny tiny steps. I don't go to where Julie is, where she goes, this would be amazing, and then she works back over to fill in the gaps. I always start from where I'm at, which is fine. And as I say, do that, guys, to get you to where you need to be. But I want you to hear what I'm about to tell you, because I want you to start observing the Julies among you, right? Because you'll have them in your friendship groups, and you'll have them in your wherever you work, in your industry, and you'll also have them in your network of people. Okay. And I want you to start observing the Julies and the Claires. I'm going to bring a Claire into this as well. So, two things. Julie put us forward for some government funded training. That's the best way to describe it. But you had to fill in a form and explain why your business deserved to be part of this accelerator program and to get this funding. And almost like a proposal, I guess, is what Julie needed to pull together. Now, I would have stopped at that point and would have went, I can't do this. And I might not have even applied for this government funded training. Julie didn't, because she doesn't think like that. Julie saw the training and thought, yeah, that's fine. I can pull that proposal together. It's dead easy. And she did, right? And we managed to get, out of the 100 spaces that were available, we managed to get one of these 100 spaces to be part of this accelerator group, which was done in conjunction with Barclays and a company called Accelerate Her funded program. Okay. So we got chosen, we got this training. It was delivered over a series of weeks, I think maybe 10 weeks, and it's been fantastic. We've learned a lot because it's an industry that we don't necessarily know in terms of tech and how to launch a startup business as well. So Julie's very much from the business side of things. I'm not. I'm mindset. I'm core mindset. My goal is to help people. Is to help people who are struggling. Although I run 3 businesses, I still don't have a business mindset. I'm learning as I go, and I'm probably, other people might go, no, you do have a business mindset. You're really successful. I am still learning. I'm still a baby where that's concerned. So Julie's goal, so as I say, I would have ran at that first hurdle. Julie's goal was not just to get the training. She thought, yeah, it's easy. We'll definitely get that, right? Because she has in the past with other business, she's been able to get government funded training and things for her businesses. So she didn't have a limited belief around it. But Julie's goal for us was not to just get the training. It was to get one of the juicy spots, which was, and I'm going to read it out because I can't remember off the top of my head, it was the chance to be part of a female founder accelerator showcase, which is the opportunity for founders to showcase their business at the end of the program. That's what Julie was aiming for. The big picture one, right? Not just, wouldn't it be nice if we got this? It might help us a little bit. It was like, that's where I want to be. I want to be on stage. I want to be presenting our business. Because the people that are going to be there, I'm reading this off the thing, it said the audience that you're presenting to is expected to be made up of potential investors, clients, and industry professionals. Now, let me tell you how coveted these places are. There is only 7 businesses that are going to get to present at that female showcase. So out of the 100 businesses that got a space on this program, only 7 get put forward to present. And that's what Julie was aiming for. And on Monday, it was expected to be announced. We did a presentation that we had to pull together, a 3-minute presentation. And I think we only had a week to pull it together, and ours was unbelievable. Like, it was so good, she says. Do you know what? And again, we just together, working together on it, our 2 little minds did this amazing. I was shocked. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that good when we got it pulled together, the end one. I was even showing my daughter and my son. I was like, look what Mama did. They weren't impressed. I think my husband was a little bit. They were not bothered at all. But anyway, we pulled it together. We were meant to hear on Monday. They said it was delayed, that they would then tell us on the Wednesday. They then sent out an email late Wednesday, I think, to say that due to some, because there's a lot of guidelines when they're doing this presentation, because it's, they've got Barclays involved in this, and different parameters that they have to cover when they're doing something like this. So I think they've had to change the date because of that. I didn't really, again, business terminology out of my remit, didn't really understand why they delayed it, but they delayed telling the people who'd been successful. So they said they would tell people the next day. So Julie was raging. This is ridiculous. If they're going to tell people, they should tell people. Anyway, we were the first to hear that we'd been successful. Can you believe it? Out of the set, like, it still blows my tiny mind. Like, and there's still part of me goes, oh my God, do you deserve a seat at the table? Because as we know, that's where my head goes. Like, sometimes I've got to take a while to catch up with where I'm at. There's still a part of me that still goes, oh my God, you've got your own podcast. Like, that still blows my tiny mind. You've got your own office with a key. That still blows my tiny mind. So the fact that we've got this out of 100 businesses, like, I could cry. Like, it does make us a bit emotional that happened. Julie expected it, and she doesn't do it in a way like, I've had Julie on the podcast ages ago, and you might be able to find the episode. And do you know what? I'll get her back on at some point to talk about her mindset, because it's just different. It's just different. And I am learning so much, because my gut instinct is to shut something down if I don't understand it, or to think, oh my God, how will I do this, without actually saying yes. Whereas Julie says yes to everything and works her way back over. And it's fantastic to watch. And there was something else that they did, her and another lady called Claire. They decided to put on a networking event. Thought, how amazing would it be if we put on a networking event and we support, and their energy is lovely. Like, people want to spend time with Julie because she will support you without it benefiting her. Does that make sense? You'll know people like that, right? And I guess I do that. Like, if somebody messages me and DMs me, if I can think about a way to help them immediately, I will DM a lovely response back, because I want to be able to support somebody to help them get unstuck. Julie's the same with women in business. She loves to see people excel and thrive. It's a lovely, lovely energy. And people naturally warm to that. And Claire's the same, this other lady. So they thought, wouldn't it be amazing if we put on this networking event of just female founders that come and figure out a way how they can help each other. Now, that's very different from normal networking. Like, I hate networking. And if you've ever been any networking, it is icky as hell, because everyone is about self-promotion. Like, I don't feel like anyone introduces themselves to me and asks me what I do because they're hoping they can help me. It's not. They're saying, oh, so what is it you do? They're not bothered what I do. What they're waiting to do is for me to say, oh, so what do you do? That's what networking's like, and it's icky and it's horrible, and that's not what Claire and Julie wanted to put on. So they did this event, and before they'd even advertised it, because I looked at it on LinkedIn, before they'd even advertised it, it was sold out. They'd sold the spaces. They'd put it on at a cute little venue that they know that overlooked the sea. It was beautiful. And it sold out. And people were asking, when's the next one? And they hadn't really had a date for it because they weren't expecting it to be any more than the one that they'd just put on. And they were like, oh, right, well, we'll have to get another one going then. So now it's a business of its own. It's called the Ladies Collective, and it's going to host them. I think it's every quarter. I should know because I'm part of this business. I think it's every quarter. And if you do want to come to the next one, it is in the Northeast. If you're Northeast based and you're somebody who's interested in business mindset and you want to come, drop me a DM. There might still, I'm not 100%, there might still be a few spaces, but I don't know if it's sold out yet. But the point of me telling you this is not to promote that, was because you've got two women who are full of energy, full of, oh my God, wouldn't it be amazing if kind of attitude to get women together. And it was sold out before they'd even announced it was going to be on. Like, they were advertising a sold out event when they advertised it. I checked back through the LinkedIn posts. There was never any talk of it being advertised. It was just sold out. And when I wanted to host my retreat, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast, when I wanted to host my retreat, my fear was, I was dead excited about it. I thought, God, it would be lovely to like host a retreat. But my energy wasn't in the, wouldn't it be amazing if it was like, God, but what happens if I can't get the venue that I want? Like, there were so many restrictions that I put on myself with that retreat, that the first one we hosted, and bearing in mind there was a lot of blocks that came up, and the universe delivered me so many things to go, it's possible, it's possible, it's possible. Because I remember having a conversation with somebody, and they said, oh, so what are you up to? And I was like, yeah, this and that and da-da-da. And I was like, I'd love to do a retreat next year. And they were like, oh, that sounds great. Where would you want to do it? And I said, love to do it at Ramside. It would be the perfect space. So Ramside is a beautiful hotel, spa, golf course near me that, the spa area is like 5 star. It's beautiful. And I thought, God, wouldn't it be amazing if, but because of my limitations, because remember, I'm still always catching up with where I'm at, I thought, God, what happens if he says no? What happens if the place that I want to host it at says no? But when I told this girl about it, and I hadn't done anything about it, I hadn't rang around any places, she was like, doesn't your friend Kelly know the owner? And I was like, and this was my best mate, Kelly, right? And I'd never spoke to her about the retreat or me wanting to do it. And I went, does she? And she was like, yeah, I'm sure she knows the guy that owns it. And I remember texting her and going, do you know a guy called John that owns Ramside? She was like, yeah. She was like, he lets us host the Irish dancing competition all the time at another venue that he's got. And I was like, no way, I didn't even know he had that venue, did it? And then you start talking. The universe delivered that conversation for me to have with my friend Florence, for her to say, I'm sure your friend Kelly knows him, because I hadn't told Kelly about this. So anyway, universe always delivers and puts lovely opportunities in our way. And you know what we do when we have limiting beliefs? We sabotage those opportunities. So for 6 weeks, I didn't email him because my fear was, what happens if he thinks, well, what's a life coach? She's not doing this. My venue. Who does she think she is? Like, I just felt less than. I didn't feel good enough to approach somebody who could own such an amazing business, such an amazing estate even, and it's huge. I didn't think I could. I didn't feel worthy of being able to approach somebody, even though I had his email address, even though somebody had told me, like, he's approachable. I didn't feel I could. So I sat on that email for 6 weeks until the anxiety crept in and I was like, oh, I feel so bad. Why do I feel so crap? I was ill. Like, we were meant to be going on holiday, and I remember trying to pack and just feeling so morbid. Like, and I didn't know why until I looked at my book and I was like, on my to-do list, and I thought, oh, I've still not emailed John. Why? And I started to question it. Anyway, long story short, I got the email out there. There was a few meetings that I had to convincing him it was the right thing to do. And I got there because, do you know what? Even if you have these limiting beliefs, and this is why all of you listening, I don't care that you know that you have all of these limiting beliefs, because I know you'll get there, right? Like, this isn't me saying because you've got limiting beliefs, you're not going to be as successful as, a Julie or a Claire and things. You will get there. It just takes you a bit longer, right? So my first example of that took me a little bit longer to get him on board, got him on board, and then when we advertised, and I can't remember how the advertising went that first time, but all I know is one person signed up. A retreat of one was really awkward. Luckily, that person I'm still in touch with that person now. She's a gorgeous human being, she's amazing. And my first experience with her, I was really vulnerable, and I said, look, this is the first time I'm hosting it. There's only you signed up. But what it means is, if you still want to come, and I appreciate if you don't, if you wanted it to be a bigger experience, if you don't want to come, I'll refund you your money. But what it means is you'll get me one-to-one if that is something you want. And it was in an ugly ass room because there was just me and her, and it was across this massive boardroom. Like, it wasn't great, the first one. But we work from where we're at. And eventually, year 2, I think it was, we were sold out on that retreat that I had to put on extra dates. So we get there, right? If you've got a ton of limiting beliefs, we still get there. Please don't give up. It just takes longer because we've got the resistance attached to it. And what I'm learning, because my journey in business has just been me, like, it's just been me on my own, which is nuts. I can't believe how I've got this far on my own as somebody who doesn't know anything about business. And I've got there. Everything just took a little bit longer. Now, the business with Julie has been crazy. Like, we have been in so many publications that in the last month, I've been in more publications than I have been in the last 10 years of running my business. Because that is the power of Claire and Julie, who have a high energy. Wouldn't it be amazing if, right? Like, I know I still sabotage myself in business because of my mindset. And that is something that I am working on all the time, because we've all got areas to work on. We're never done. And when things are, you're the first time doing anything, you are going to have a mindset that it's going to need to catch up with where you want your goals and dreams to be at. Now, Claire and Julie, for whatever reason, just didn't have those. They've always succeeded in business, so therefore their mindset doesn't have those blockers on. Now, there's other areas of my life where I don't have those blockers, so it just naturally happens for me. So friendships, I'm really successful in friendships because I don't have a limiting belief about me being a good friend or not being able to make friends. And you might have an area of your life where you are abundant, but you don't realize because you didn't realize that was a thing that other people aren't abundant in. Does that make sense? So I'm abundant with friendships and I make friends really easily, but I have resistance in business. So it takes me a bit longer to get there. So what I would invite you to start doing is observing the Julies and Claires in this world, right? Who find things really easy, right? It just is. And for Julie to get that showcase, she'd already visualized us on that stage so many times. It was a given that it was going to happen. Like, how amazing. My mind is blown that we get to present. But for Julie, it was like, well, yeah, like, that was why I got this training, this funding to do this, because I wanted that end bit. I wanted to be on that stage. And that energy is just unbelievable. So who in your network of friends, who in your network of people that you work with or your family has that knowing energy? It's a lovely energy, and it really, you get on board with that and it takes you to places. So like for me, when I have clients that I'm working with and they have a goal of something, I believe wholeheartedly in that goal for them, because I know that if I can achieve what I've got now, it is so possible for them. Like, I have a knowing and an energy, and they probably see me as a Julie in terms of my energy, because I so believe in their goals. Because I just believe if I can do it, God, anyone can do it. Like, you've got to remember, my biggest goal was to work in a shop on a till. So for what I've achieved, I just think anything is possible for anyone. And if you're not making the most of that, you're wasting opportunities. So my invitation, as I say, for you is to start observing those people. What are their thoughts? What are their habits? What are their actions? Because I am learning so much from a Claire and a Julie on how to make that gap that I've got, that takes me longer to get the things that I've got, to accelerate it so much quicker. And it's a different approach. And I didn't, honest to God, I did not know I still had resistance about things until I saw someone with no resistance whatsoever. It's amazing. And I love this. Oh my God, the journey of growth is so powerful when you're on board with it and you're open to it. And I am so open to the fact that, you know what, there are things that I still need to let go of and that I still need to do the work on. And I've come such a long way, but my God, there's still work to do. And how amazing that that is the case, because it means I'm still growing and there's still stuff to learn and there's still opportunities to be had and still things that I get to work on. And so see this as an opportunity for growth. Where am I in resistance? And who do I know doesn't have that resistance? And I'm going to start observing them, talking to them, listening to how they talk to themselves, listening to how they talk to the universe, how they talk to their friends, and start becoming an observer and embodying all of that. And the energy around that is huge. It's so huge. And I want you to take it in, not see it as, it's not meant for me. Well, then it won't be meant for you if that's your headspace. But if you start watching it and observing it and learning, and it's like, I'm trying to think of a way to describe this in the best analogy that I can, in something so simple. It's like, if you wouldn't be jealous of somebody who could drive a car. You would think about, right, well, I want to drive as well, so I'll just take lessons and I'll learn off somebody who can teach me how to drive, and then I'll know how to drive. It's the same analogy. You're learning off somebody who doesn't have the resistance, and you're observing that so that you can then start implementing that. So you can drive that same car in whatever journey of life that may be. Next week's episode is unreal. I can't wait for your feedback. I can't wait to edit it. The guest that I've got is amazing. I'm nervous to edit it because I was so excited that the person that I've got on and all the questions that I'm asking them, I have a feeling I might be too close to the mic, so it might sound like I'm shouting. So let's put it out to the universe that when I go to edit it, it's going to be really easy for me to edit. And I won't sound like I'm shouting. But if you do hear the episode next week and you're like, whoa, Jude, shouting a little bit, know that I didn't get it edited properly, and it is what it is, but the content is unreal. I'm so excited for you to hear it. Have an amazing week, everyone. I can't wait, as I say, to hear your feedback for next week's and what you thought of this week's episode as well. Please do please do connect with me. I love it, love it, love it. I've had another couple of people connect with me last week who are new followers of mine on Instagram, who've been telling me they're interested in the certification, or they just love listening to the podcast and they've learned so much. That is a joy for me to hear. So please do continue to connect with me and drop me a DM on Instagram. You will always get responded to. Have an amazing week, everyone.